Let's freaking go. We have got so much to get to tonight. Arch Manning, the biggest recruit ever, and I mean ever, has decided he is going to go join the winning tradition. The Steve Sarkisian led, the We're Back coalition that we know as the Texas Longhorns. Arch Manning has decided where he's going to go. In the comment section right now, type Y for yes, type in for no. Will Arch Manning be a first, second, or third round NFL draft pick? Type Y for yes, type in for no. Let me know right now. That is the biggest story. Now, involving LSU football, LSU picks up a really nice commitment in Kyle Parker. Okay, so we're going to talk about all that tonight. What's up, Marcus? Cain and LGZ. Crying belly. You got to love it. LA Mom, your attendance has been perfect. I saw that you weren't feeling the best. I hope you feel better. I got to shout out my good buddy Shane. Guys and gals, you will not believe this. You guys know how much I love this man right here. Okay? Proud to call this man a friend. You know, I don't like using that word, right? Jail's a friend. Very lucky to have spent some time with him just a few weeks ago. Shane Cheatham, that was so kind of you. He sent me a really nice Jeremy Hill rookie card. Very blessed to have people like Shane. I just met him this past weekend at the Shreveport show. We say hi to Michael. We say hi to Doug Knows. Doug, you've been a big part of the channel. I'm very happy to have you. Atomic Shark, it's been a while since I've seen you. Big Al, you know I'm always keeping you in my thoughts. If you do believe in the metaphysical, please keep Big Al in your prayers, okay? Christian, Muslim, whatever you worship, please keep Big Al in your thoughts and prayers, okay? We all are going through something. Some are more severe than others. Big Al, he's been with us for a while. He's been a day one PHLer. You know I love you like a brother, man. But yeah, Super Chat's wide open. We go straight to your topic. I will talk about anything LSU football related. We're getting a lot of new viewers, a lot of first-timers, second-timers, third-timers, fifth-timers, 15th-timers. For Chris English, 100-timers. I talk to Chris nearly every day. I also want to shout out Crying Belly. He and I have gotten to know each other pretty well on Twitter. I am getting more involved with the Power Hour LSU Twitter account. And I would be in a really bad spot right now if I did not thank Slade Roy for one of the best interviews we've ever had on this channel. Very blessed for Slade to bless us with this presence. If you did not miss that conversation, you want to check it out on Tuesday night because it was a real deal Holyfield type of interview. It was, even if Slade Roy wasn't a football player, he was just an entertaining guy, right? So we were very blessed with Slade to share his life story for the first time. He's never done an interview, and PHL was the first one. We believe in deep snapper content on this channel, so make sure you check it out. I want to shout out our friends, once again, Presley Collection, PresleyCollection.com. I trusted Anthony Starr Presley with my engagement ring, with my fiance from a few weeks ago, and Haley can't go anywhere, and I mean anywhere, without her getting stopped saying, "Where'd you get that ring from? How did Carter do such a great job?" It wasn't me. It was Anthony Starr Presley, PresleyCollection.com. Check out the watches and all the good stuff we have going on, PresleyCollection.com. LGZ thinks Ricky Collins is very underrated. Chris says, yes, Arch will be drafted in the first 3 rounds. Dez, Shane, Shark says no. Crying Nico and Dante better than Arch. SafeguardYourSoul.com. Good to see you. Ryan says, I don't think Arch is the best quarterback. I think it's Dante. Can you do a video breakdown on each top quarterback this class? That would be amazing to watch. Yeah, I'd love to do that. And what's really cool coming up, we're going to have a Patreon community where you're going to see all my film studies. I record film studies and sometimes don't send them because I study YouTube's algorithms and I see which ones work and which videos don't. I have a full Jacobian Guillory film study ready to go. I feel as though that is better for Patreon and that kind of stuff. So that will all more than likely be released on Sunday night. We will have a video on Sunday, our normal Saturday night live stream as well. Sunday night, we will be dropping our running back week. We will begin running back week. Okay. Sunday night, we're going to take a look at certain running back traits that oftentimes predict which LSU running backs will succeed. On Monday night, we will have another John Emery video. On Tuesday night, the great Charles Alexander will join us on PHL to share us his thoughts on anything and everything running back play. And obviously, he's one of the best college football players in SEC history. So really excited about that. What's up, Skipper? Good to see you. Yeah, as far as Arch, I don't want – it's fine if you say he's overrated because I've said it, right? I don't think any prospect is worth the consensus number 1 overall player, as in every service views him as the number 1 overall player. That just doesn't make rational sense. It doesn't make any sense at all, to be honest. But being honest about that is very important because for me, I don't know about you, but for me, I think the number 1 overall player is different than who you might think the number 1 overall player is. Like, for instance, when Leonard Fournette was coming out, I was just so gung-ho, Leonard Fournette, number one. And then I saw Myles Garrett play, and I said, okay, I can see why some people think Myles Garrett is the best player coming out of high school. I can totally see that. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine if that is your evaluation, right? But Arch Manning, consensus number 1 overall player. Every service has Arch Manning number 1. Really? 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 That doesn't make any sense. And it shows a weakness in the recruiting industry. It does. That's the case. I just have a tough time believing that. I really do. I have a tough time seeing all these reporters go to these camps where they get to see Dante more in the flesh. And they're like, wait, how is this guy not number 1? How is Nico not number 1? Trust him and eat cakes and treats with your wedding cake. LOL, feel better, LA Mom. What's up? Carter and my Power Hour family, let's go. So I'm not afraid to do this. Aaron's been a friend of mine for a while now. I got to shout out his wife's business. I've talked to his wife. I FaceTimed his wife not too long ago, and I professed my love for her. I really did because she made the best dessert I think I've ever eaten. And what's funny was Aaron's wife made a dessert for me and Prez. He brought it to the restaurant, the last small little BR meetup that we did, and I went crazy when I took my first bite of the red velvet cheesecake milkshake. It was crazy. Tyler, thank you for your super chat once again. Let's get some $10 and $4.99 matches in there. That's good. It's a good start. I'm loving it. How significant is the Noah Cain transfer, in your opinion, chance to start? Yeah, he's got a really good chance to start, but I don't think he's going to beat out John Emery. I don't. But then again, of course, you always play more than just one running back. So don't, Noah Cain's going to get his opportunity to play. All right. So Tyler, you've been with me for a little bit. I will refer back to my Noah Cain film study. I did a deep dive on Noah Cain probably a month and a half ago. So I won't be doing much Noah Cain content on running back week next week. So I don't want anyone to feel like, oh, well, what about Noah Cain? What about Noah Cain? I like Noah Cain a lot. I really do. The issue, though, is the good thing about Noah Cain is if you open up a hole, he is going to run through it. If you give him an assignment to complete, he will complete it. Okay? But is he special with the football in his hands? He might be. Now he's coming back home to Baton Rouge. But at Penn State, he wasn't special with the football in his hands. Now, that sounds like a put down. It's not. In fact, probably 9 out of every 10 running backs with the football in their hands is just a guy running with the football in his hands. 1 out of every 10 running backs are truly special. The way I view it is 1 out of every 10 running backs special. The next 2 out of every 10 running backs are very good. They'll push a pile forward. They'll get you an extra yard. They'll break a tackle every now and then. And the next tier are just guys that can get through a hole really fast. And then like the bottom 2 or 3 are guys that just can't play at all. Okay? The bottom line is this, all right? Noah Cain is really excited to get back to Baton Rouge. I listened to a brief part of the interview he did with the Colada Show, and I also saw how happy he was to be back in the state of Louisiana. There is something metaphysical about playing for the home state school. He is a guy that is originally from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So why didn't he go to LSU? Well, it's simple. TDP and John Emery were a part of that running back class, and never will a running back be the third running back in the cycle. Now, it's worked out in the past where LSU's brought in 3 running backs, and all 3 of them turned out to be okay. But still, you don't want to be the third running back. But now he's back. And this is my overall Tyler assessment of Noah Cain, okay? Really good short yardage running back. The one thing, and this is the biggest thing that he has over John Emery, is experience. And not only just some experience, Noah Cain has big game experience. He had the game-winning carry earlier this year on the road against Wisconsin, had the game-winning carry as a true freshman on the road at Kinnick Stadium, Iowa, one of the toughest places to play in the country. And he also had another game-winning carry versus Auburn, okay? Big game, Saturday night, ABC, whiteout earlier this year. So the one thing that Noah Cain can say compared to John Emery is I have big carry experience. John Emery has none. He just doesn't. He doesn't have big time carry experience. So what does that mean? Well, it's 4th down, Jacob Hester, get me a yard. It's Stephen Ridley, 1 yard versus Tennessee, give me a yard. And I could do as much porn bot blocking as I possibly can, and sometimes they still get through. That means that they are subscribed to the channel. Beer cans and baddies, good to see you. But last thing here on Noah Cain before we get the Blanchard super chat. I feel as if Noah Cain is going to be a really solid back for LSU. Last year, though, he had 2 carries of 10 yards or more, and that's not necessarily a great thing. And both of those carries came on perfectly blocked plays. So I think he's a plotter. He's a guy that could get you the yards when you open up a hole. Think Latavius Murray type of player. Not a high upside kind of guy, but he's really, really, really solid. Beer cans and baddies. Creek, I shot you an email this weekend and you never responded. I would have loved to have seen you in Shreveport. All good, though. I thought Arch would go to UGA and transfer to OSU, but now he is going to Texas and transferring to USC. So the issue with that, Blanche, is USC has Malachi Nelson. And I think most real quarterback evaluators have Malachi Nelson ahead of Arch Manning. So for those that don't follow recruiting too closely, Arch Manning is the #1 national overall recruit, Malachi Nelson is in the top 5 nationally on most services, right? Oftentimes he is the number 2 recruit, and he's also a quarterback, kid out of California. He will be playing with Lincoln Riley and taking over for Caleb Williams as a true sophomore. So Malachi Nelson's a really special quarterback, deadly accurate, just, dual threat, elite quarterback, probably will win a Heisman under Lincoln Riley. Really good player. So I don't see Arch going from Texas to USC. I could see Arch going from Georgia to Ohio State. But Ohio State also has Dylan Raiola, the number 1 quarterback in 2024, and I think he's pretty good. So I don't know what Arch's plan is. Is he going to stay with Texas? Let's just say Texas is terrible. Let me ask you this. It's okay, Creek. No worries. Type Y for yes. Type N for no. Will Arch Manning play at Texas and finish his career at Texas? Type Y for yes. Type N for no. Okay? Let's take a look at the poll question. Arch Manning is the best Louisiana quarterback prospect in 2023. 72% of you say false. Blanche says no. He was a super chatter. What's up, LA Mom? Rob, thank you for your super chat earlier today. I really, really do appreciate it during our Kyle Parker interview. It's how big of a story Arch Manning is. No one's even super chatted about Kyle Parker during this video. We should be talking about him, a 3-star kid who's hungry to get to Baton Rouge and make plays. Yes, Crying Belly, you made this comment earlier in that Twitter space. No. Aaron says yes. Creek says yes. Rob says yes. Hey, Mick, good to see you, man. Brandon, good to see you. Hey, everyone, welcome Brandon to the channel. I think this is Brandon's first time here on PHL. And not only is it his first time here, Brandon is going all out super dad right here. Okay? Now, this is very important, Brandon. We are a dad first channel here and mom first. Okay? But the super dads of PHL, we band together. I'm not a dad, so I can't say we. This is about you. Okay? Brandon, welcome to the channel, man. And I like seeing this. A softball dad as well. Softball dads, no one's been hit harder by the high gas prices than the softball dads. Y'all are driving to 1,000 different AAU tournaments. And you notice, AAU baseball and softball is never located conveniently for anybody. It's always a 2-hour drive to wherever. Britt says, no, what's up, Britt? My man, Britt, new member of the PHL T-shirt club. Let's go. Britt. Chris, there you go. I see Chris trying to get in on Brandon's super dad shine. He said, look, I forget Brandon. I'm sorry I couldn't hear the question. I was taking care of my kids and putting them to bed. I like that. You guys know Chris never misses a trivia question. That's like Galaxy Brain stuff. I like it. Oh, man, that's good. So, Brandon, let me know if this is your first time. I want you to feel welcome, man. I want to shout out to all the super dads once again. Shane, thank you so much. You guys and gals. Clap emojis. Let me get some clap emojis in the chat right now. Shane just joined the PHL T-shirt club. Shane! PHL T-shirt club. Shane! Sip G! What's good? We go to our next super chat here. Give me some clap emojis for Shane. He just joined the PHL T-shirt club with a nice Venmo. I appreciate you, Shane. Glad to call you my friend, my fellow hobbyist. Me and Shane are both sports card nerds. I got to say this. Shane has got the best Terrace Marshall collection I've ever seen. And I really do mean it. I want to actually get him to take photos so you can see some of these Terrace Marshall cards. I will say this. I'm proud of my Tyrann Mathieu collection. I am. Shane's Terrace Marshall collection is better than my Tyrann Mathieu collection. And you guys know I can nerd out. I can nerd out over my Tyrann Mathieu collection. I can nerd out. But we're not going to do that. So I actually was going to do this the next PHL T-shirt club member was going to get this Leonard Fournette game-worn jersey card. But I'm actually, I don't know. Oh, I'll send this to Shane. Why not? I'm actually going to send you a better Fournette than this one. This actually is one of my favorite Fournette cards. I love the design of this. Okay. So the next PHL T-shirt club member, you're going to get the sealed Rohan Davey rookie card. Okay. Next PHL T-shirt club member, you get the Rohan Davey rookie card. This is actually one of my favorite cards. A viewer of the channel actually gave this to me at a card shop not too long ago. And I want to give it to somebody. Why not? So it's Brandon's first time here. Gotta love it. Oh, look at that. I caught a gymnast from Louisiana. Dang, that's crazy. Let's go to Crying Belly Super Chat here. We'll get back into Arch Manning in just a second. I hope now that Kelly and company in the building, we start really locking down the state. Though I'm not so upset because we going to Texas for the 4-star. Okay, yeah. So let's talk about this really quickly, okay? Okay, all right. Yeah, Shane, I'll send it to somebody else. I'll happily do that. But I will be sending you a shirt. Congratulations, you're part of the PHL T-shirt club, man. That's huge. It's a good group to be a part of. Now, Crying, first off, I really do enjoy our debates on Twitter. I'm really glad you're a part of our YouTube community now. Thank you for your generosity here. You are one of the sharpest college football minds. You have such great college football takes. So I'm really happy that you're a part of this. Good to see Rick in here as well. Let me start with this. So apparently Kyle Parker does have Louisiana ties. Okay. So that's one thing. The second thing is Louisiana isn't as deep as it normally is at wide receiver. There's 3 4-star better wide receivers in the state. Obviously, Shelton Sampson Jr., we've talked a lot about him. And then, of course, you have Omarion Miller. Will he come back to LSU? I doubt it. I think Nebraska is going to be in the lead for that. And then after that, Kai Prian. Very interesting player. Okay? The second thing, though, about this is, Kyle Parker is a 4-star according to On3's recruiting services, but most consensus recruiting services have him as a 3-star. So I won't get too deep into this now, but a little bit earlier, I did a deep dive on age, okay? And I've talked about this a little bit on the channel. Not all recruits are the same age, right? We tend to think of college football players being the same age, okay? They are not, right? They just simply aren't. Like, for instance, when Leonard Fournette and DJ Chark stepped on campus for the first time at LSU, Fournette was nearly 2 years older than DJ Chark, okay? So Kyle Parker is younger, which means more than likely he's not done growing yet. He is still going to get bigger and faster and stronger. And it really is crazy when you go look at like the younger players that have come to LSU and then look at them when they started at LSU compared to where they ended at LSU. You see how much older and how much more mature they get. It's pretty crazy. Christian Fulton was also another player that was super young when he got to LSU. Rashard Lawrence as well. They look like different human beings. And a lot of players do that regardless of age, but it's crazy to think about. I think Kyle Parker does have upside. He's really good with the football in his hands. He's got a lot of wiggle when he gets the football in his hands. And normally with these 5'10 guys, you think of them as slot receivers, he high points footballs. And Chris, you brought this up in the chat a little bit earlier. What's up, Tony? Good to see you. I like watching Kyle Parker play. Now, as far as locking down the state of Louisiana, this is a really good comment because I get this a lot. We need to lock down the state of Louisiana. Cool. I really do believe that. I really do mean that. I really do know, and we know this, that LSU's best teams are comprised of the best Louisiana players, all the way from a 5-star like Terrace Marshall, all the way down to a 3-star like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, or Lloyd Cushenberry. I will say this, though. This state is, for 2023, a weird crop, okay? Last year, all the kids were all like heavy LSU leans. And some of them, decided to go elsewhere because of the coaching change. The year before, kind of the same thing. This year, though, is different, okay? And this is where digging a little bit deeper under the surface really matters. And I'm not saying Crying Belly doesn't do that. In fact, he does the opposite. He really is a deep thinker. And I want everyone to welcome Crying Belly to the channel. He really is a deep thinker. Okay, let's go down the list of 2023 players, all right? And let's go one by one and how they're ranked, okay? Number one player, Arch Manning, never going to LSU, okay? Scratch that off. Number two player, Shelton Sampson, probably going to go to LSU, your typical LSU recruit. Baton Rouge kid, he's probably going to go to LSU. Number three player, Derek Williams, the safety out of New Iberia, okay? What's happened at New Iberia? Well, LSU just lost their defensive backs coach who is from New Iberia. One of his good friends, Danny Lewis, just went to Alabama. Now, is it far-fetched if LSU lost Derek Williams to a different school that happened during a transition year? No, it's not like I like him a lot. He is my number two player in Louisiana behind Sampson. I could see Derek Williams going elsewhere, though, right? It would make sense. It's not like it wouldn't be something like out of the ordinary, right? Then you go down the list of players, okay? A lot of you have Tackett Curtis as the next best player in the class after those top three. I mean, Tackett Curtis wasn't on good terms with the Orgeron staff. It seems as if he was always going out of state. And his top three right now are Ohio State, USC, and Wisconsin. So even if he does go somewhere, he's going somewhere where he can't hurt you. He's going to an out-of-SEC school. So no harm, no foul. Jaden Osbury, okay? Former five-star linebacker, still a beast. Top 100 player. He's at U-High. Obviously, his dad, Verge Osbury, longtime LSU staffer. Obviously involved with everything that's happened off the field. But his brother just went to Auburn. Okay? Would it have been nice to keep him? Yeah, sure. But it would make sense if he didn't choose LSU. I hope he does. LSU probably needs to get a linebacker, a good linebacker in this crop. Still, it would make sense. Now we get to Eli Holstein. Okay? I'm not as familiar with the Holstein family as other LSU media members. No one was really shocked that Eli Holstein was never going to LSU. Whether it be the Walker Howard thing, which I don't think is the real reason. Eli Holstein was always interested in going out of state. It's just that was around him during the Orgeron regime. Joe Sloan did everything he could to get Eli Holstein on LSU's campus to try and get him a part of this class. So you notice as each kid, name comes up, the more you put things together, the more you begin to realize that it's more likely for a lot of those kids to not go to LSU for circumstances that has nothing to do with the LSU football program, nothing to do with Brian Kelly. In fact, Brian Kelly, Matt House, and Joe Sloan, according to all the sources I've spoken to, recruiting reporters that I read a lot, and so on and so on. Okay. I've been told by somebody in the building that it is amazing how much ground LSU has made up, in particular with Tackett Curtis and Eli Holstein. The fact that you were so able to get him on campus is a big deal. So what? You're not going to land him. So what? You move on. I think this crop is different. I think people that follow recruiting closely understand that the elite players in this class all have these other circumstances surrounding them. Now, does it look good when you don't land them? Does it look good when you don't get them to come to LSU? Yeah, it does. It doesn't look that good. But the bottom line is part of being a Louisiana recruit is that you need to go get guys that really want to be here. Okay. And the fact that a lot of these, some of the kids that I mentioned, and nothing against those kids, understand, you won't find anyone on the planet Earth that is a YouTuber for their team that says players should go where they want to go where you're happy. I'm not saying I'm not chastising these kids for going elsewhere. I'm actually doing the opposite. I'm saying, don't be shocked if this is a diverse state where a lot of people are going elsewhere. It's part of it. And I also think that's part of the reason why LSU is recruited nationally. What I don't like about lockdown the state is that it doesn't consider many outside factors. Some of these kids need to leave the state to leave bad influence. For some kids, it could be the best option for success. You guys know Danny's one of our best commenters. She's one of the sharpest viewers of this channel. And she is absolutely right. Look, in this last cycle, I won't speak on this kid's name because it's not really my business, but there was someone in this last cycle that when I did some research, it was pretty clear that the kid needed to get out of Baton Rouge. Or not go to Baton Rouge. He actually isn't from Baton Rouge. But, you know, he had to go somewhere else. Now, here's the thing. We can go down a laundry list of names. Players that would have been better off not staying around the influences, okay? We all have one in our head right now that we all know probably would have won a Heisman Trophy, probably would have been the first overall pick if he didn't go to LSU. It's Ryan Perrilloux. If Ryan Perrilloux didn't have outside influences, he is still the best Louisiana high school football player of all time. It's going to take a lot for me, and I don't follow Louisiana high school football closely. Still, it's going to take a lot for me to not say that. It's going to take a lot for me to not say that Ryan Perrilloux is not the best Louisiana high school football player of all time. People that know way more about this would probably in consensus say he's no worse than top 3. Okay? If he would have gone to Texas, maybe the Colt McCoy to LSU thing happens. Yeah, I mean, that's just crazy to think about. But then again, you know, Ryan Perrilloux won a national championship here. He was a big reason why we won a national championship. Still, I mean, if he goes elsewhere, I mean, he still got drafted and played in the league. I mean, he was so freaking talented. Sometimes you got to get away. And this is such a good super chat. And it's tough. You know, as fans, we want to get all the homegrown talent. And LSU is what we are now because of one thing only, homegrown talent. That's it. That's why we are what we are now. Players that play for something bigger than themselves, which is LSU, the state of Louisiana. Everybody on your street, 90% of your city is cheering for you to go to LSU. Doesn't matter if you're in Baton Rouge. Doesn't matter if you're in Slidell. Doesn't matter if you're in Ruston. Doesn't matter if you're in Farmerville. Doesn't matter if you're in Mandeville. Doesn't matter if you're in Winsboro. Doesn't matter if you're in Monroe. Doesn't matter if you're in Shreveport. Doesn't matter if you're in Lake Charles. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're in Krotz Springs. Doesn't matter if you're in Brewley, Prairieville, Mandeville, Davidsville, Dubityville, Sludaville. Everybody in the town is going to go to LSU or want you to go to LSU. But it's not always the best for you. Two completely different things. So I'm really glad Danny is able to objectively state that. Also, Danny lives in Georgia. I bet you those Georgia fans have been so insufferable. Good to see you, Trent. John Sibley, good to see you. I want to welcome in. We've had a lot of people jump on in. Los Angeles, good to see you. Old vet, it's been a while. There we go. So here's the thing. If you join the PHL T-shirt club, you guys know I send you a bunch of cards. Shane joined the PHL T-shirt club a little bit earlier. Next person that joins the PHL T-shirt club. This is my rarest Rohan Davey rookie card. It is numbered. It has also been sealed. Shane could explain the sealed meaning. That means it is never, this card has never been taken out. It's never been touched by human hands. You can unseal it. You can do whatever you want with it. But yeah, you know, look. See here. Oh, wait, now hold on. Am I gonna have to block some people in here because y'all are scared of Texas? Y'all are scared of Texas? Really? Are we saying Texas? Texas? What in the name of Sam Ehlinger is going on? What in the name of Kevin Durant is going on? What is going on here? Texas? What in the name of Michael Huff is going on? What in the name of Vince Young is going on? What in the name of Roger B12 and lidocaine juiced up Clemens is going on that you guys think Texas is coming back? If you think Texas is coming back, please go to the nearest erupting volcano, blindfold yourself, eat a bag of electric eels, and jump into the molten rock that is burrowing out of the volcano. At least say Texas A&M is coming back. But Texas A&M can't come back because they never were there. I don't want my chat to say, oh my God, Texas is coming back. We got a QB with a mullet. That'll do it. Texas is back. I mean, my goodness gracious. Ugh. I mean, goodness gracious. Skipper, thank you for your super chat. I'm late to acknowledge you. You know I love you, my brother. Oh, Shane. Hey, Shane says name, image, likeness. So, look, I know I'm joking. It's fun. It's fun to troll with Texas fans. If you don't believe that, then what's going on? Let's see. I'm back. Oh man. And I'm gonna try and send him a message. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like I just love Jacob Hester so much. It is kind of strange though, because I wouldn't be able to wear this hat because he's an Everton fan. So I don't know if he would want to jump on a Liverpool fans live stream, but it is running back week. I am really close with T-Bob. So yeah, I'd love to have Jacob Hester be a part of running back week. That would be really special. And look, Shane, Nurse Court, y'all are North Louisiana folks. Y'all would love some North Louisiana influence. I'm trying to think. We had Sean Fox on, my good buddy. I love North Louisiana. I do. I really do. I could live in North Louisiana. Look, Shreveport's got good seafood. I know you're not supposed to say that, but they do. But yeah, Danny, just for you, because I would like Jacob Hester to come on the channel. I will shoot him a message. I would love to have him on. Tari Eason going 17 to the Rockets. Rockets have killed this draft. Goodness. Yeah, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell. Welcome to the channel. This has been one of our best live streams in a while. I'm just feeling so much good energy today. I really am. And look, this is sometimes what we do as LSU fans. So last night I was cutting a video on Kyle Parker. Okay. And then I got a text saying this kid's going to commit tomorrow. He tweeted about it. It was pretty clear. Catfish Charlie's in Monroe. I guess that's where we'll go next time I'm in Monroe. Carter, you are the best. Thanks for the Met and Jets cards on all the rest. Love the shirt, buddy. Never stop being you. Appreciate you. No, I appreciate you, Nurse Cord. I wanted you to have Zach Mettenberger auto. I know you love Met, so had to send you a Met auto. Nurse Cord, if I had a Jack Besh auto, I would send it to you. I'm going to get with Jack, see if he can, maybe work something out. And we can send you a Jack Besh autograph card or something. I want you to have it because I know you're a big Besh fan. Carvis, good to see you. It's been a while. But yeah, thank you so much. Winfield in the house. Good to see you. So look, I love North Louisiana. I really do. I really do mean that. Now, what I want to do though is share this Kyle Parker story. So I got a message last night and I said, Kyle Parker. And then I was doing research and I saw that he was a younger player. And then I started looking at the successful 3-star wide receivers, Justin Jefferson and DJ Chark. And then I was like, wait, they were both younger players as well. But I did the video earlier today because we tend to do this as LSU fans. We focus in on players that we won't get. And instead of that, you focus in on the players that you do get, right? Kyle Parker really wants to be at LSU, okay? Who wouldn't, right? There's no better university to go to play wide receiver. No better. Here's what I like about Kyle Parker, okay? There's not been a wide receiver at LSU that has caught 30-plus passes that's outside the state of Louisiana since Terrence Tolliver in 2010, who was a 5-star. And Terrence Tolliver is the most criminally underrated LSU wide receiver of the modern era. Criminally underrated. And I really do believe that. I think we tend to forget how many games that guy won on them. Oftentimes him just mossing people. He was good. I think Kyle Parker could be the next great one. I really do. Good punt returner, good hands, hard worker. And honestly, for me, I agree with Chris. I could see him sliding up the recruiting rankings. It's still very early. And something else to keep in mind, okay? There is a lot of variance when it comes to wide receivers. There are so many good 3-star wide receivers in the NFL. And it's not just 3-star wide receivers. I'm talking about like ranked in the 2000s. So what does that tell you? That we're not too great at evaluating wide receivers. Now, a lot of 5-stars turn out to be the best. A lot of top 100 guys turn out to be the best. Terrace and Jamar's a good example of that. Jarvis and Odell were both really highly rated guys. But, we just had a crop like 2 years ago where Malik and Jack up to this point have been the 2 best. They were the 2 lowest. Malik got very lucky. I was super high on JoJo Earl. Kind of happy JoJo Earl went to Bama because if he doesn't go to Bama, we don't get Malik Neighbors, and Malik's better. I just think he's better, right? And I thought JoJo Earl was going to be special. He very well could. He's going into year 2. Malik looks like he's a better football player. So there you go. Me, who looks at this stuff a lot, I miss on evaluating wide receivers as well. Most of the 4- and 5-star wide receivers are the best. Ohio State's a good example. They have the best wide receiver unit more often than not outside the SEC every year. They just do. But there are a lot of good wide receivers out there. There are, right? And, with Kyle Parker, yes, he's not a 4-star. This is the number one message I've gotten, okay? Well, Kyle Parker's not a 4-star. Where are the 4 stars? So up to this point, there have been 54 stars in the class of 2023 that play wide receiver. Only 18 of them have committed, okay? And of the 18, only 2 have picked SEC schools. 1 went to Kentucky, 1 went to Georgia. So right now, there is not a single SEC West school with a 4-star wide receiver commit. So don't come at me with, well, we didn't get a 4-star wide receiver. Hell, at least we got one, right? Shelton Sampson's going to commit. We'll be fine. A Shelton Sampson, Kyle Parker class is not enough. You wouldn't like to get another, but the portal is always there as well. So there we go. I'm really happy about it. I'm not just blowing smoke up you. I'm not. I do think Kyle Parker is really good. I think Jaylen Brown's going to be very interesting. The 5-star out of Miami. We'll see. Now that Arch is committed, do you believe this is a good thing for Walker Howard? This is a really good question here. Actually, the opposite's true because Walker Howard's better than Arch. And I do think there are some 2023 guys that could be better than Walker Howard. So, I just think Walker Howard's better than Arch. I do. I know Arch is bigger. Still, I just think Walker Howard's better. Obviously, Dante Moore's special. He just is. I mean, there's no other way around it. I think Walker Howard is a little bit more mobile than Dante Moore. I do. I think Walker also could be a little bit more improvisational than Dante Moore. But Dante is a pocket assassin. He has got really clean mechanics. And you could tell this is a young man who's been training on the intricacies of quarterback play for a long time. Now, it's not to say the other guys don't. Obviously, Arch Manning has done it his whole life. But, man, Dante's a really freaking good football player. And, he just is. Now, what would that timeline look like if he chose LSU? It would be a vicious battle between him, Nuss, and Walker Howard to start next year. Dante Moore, wherever he goes, likely won't start as a true freshman, but the kid can play. The kid can really play. So what specifically do I like about Dante Moore? Because I don't just want to say, well, he's a 5-star and top 15 national player. He gets the football out quickly. The ball gets out of his hands quickly. When he makes a decision, the footwork is precise and the ball is steaming out of his hands. That's not to say that's not the case with Walker Howard. Mechanically, he's pretty good as well. But Dante is very, very clean. And that guy is really, really good. I'm still going to take Walker Howard. Maybe that's my Louisiana bias, especially since he's 1 year older. But, man, I've really grown to love Dante Moore for this reason. There are people that are smarter than me that get paid a lot of money to make these decisions, okay? I've been very lucky to sit in press boxes and still be friends with scouts that I've sat next to that do help me with film studies and give me insight that is over my frame of thinking. And I've asked him about Dante Moore, and they say, Carter, this kid's got it. This kid's got it. So, yeah, as far as Walker Howard is concerned, Tony, I think its biggest focus should be just beating out Nuss going into next year. Jaylen Brown is predicted by LSU by Sam Spiegelman on 3 would be a huge get. Good news is I love Spiegelman. I used to actually work with Spiegelman. That would be a huge get. 5-star receiver Jaylen Brown. Very interesting thing about Jaylen Brown is, so let's do this, okay? And I won't do this because a lot of people here, KMC, aren't familiar with Jaylen Brown. Max, thank you for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. But so Jaylen Brown's a 5-star receiver out of Miami, okay? 2023. He is essentially nearly the same height and weight as Kyle Parker. The difference, though, is Kyle Parker is a sub 11 100-meter dash, and Jaylen Brown is a sub 11 second 100-meter dash. He's 10.66. So 10.66 is really fast, right? So Tyreek Hill's like 10.1, which obviously is like as fast as a wide receiver you're ever going to see. 10.66 is really fast. That's like probably like Chris Hilton could probably run that on LSU's team right now. So Jaylen Brown's so much faster that he just blows by everybody at the competition he plays at in Miami that, it's going to take him a while to, adjust to running a fuller route tree, if that makes sense. But it doesn't matter. I mean, the kid's special, 5-star talent. I would love Jaylen Brown to be a part of it. That would be crazy. That would be absolutely crazy. I do think he'd be the first 5-star out-of-state receiver since Tolliver, which would be pretty cool as well. So thank you for the super chat, KMC. We go to Max. We were just talking about the Miami Dolphins a second ago with Tyreek Hill. Arch is the best since sliced bread. Don't care, Carter. Just look at his name. He is a coach's son and 5-star next to his name. LL. He'll be the next Matt Barkley. Well, you know what, Max? I actually agree with this. I could see a lot of Matt Barkley from Arch, and that sounds bad, but Matt Barkley was a really good college quarterback, and he's made a heck ton of a lot of money as a backup at the NFL level. But here's a conundrum. I'm a big Manning fan. I know I've shared that plenty of times. But if I did not acknowledge that the Manning name plays a role in this evaluation, I would be being dishonest with you. And I know a lot of you know that, but it's true. It's just true. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And we got a lot of new viewers trickling in. I've gotten one really bad hate email about what I said about Arch being the consensus number one guy. Kind of got personal. Who cares? I don't care. It's not that Arch isn't a bad player. I'll tell you this. So I'm friends with a lot of the guys at C2C, and they're a fantasy football college website. And they actually have Arch as a top 3 quarterback. They all view Malachi Nelson as the clear-cut number one guy. Most of them do. They all like Dante Moore, and they all like Arch Manning. The one guy that the C2C guys don't like is the guy that I like the most, which is Nico. They're not really high on Nico. I could see why people wouldn't be high on Nico. He's built like Kevin Durant. That is not good for any college football player if you're built like Kevin Durant. But the kid can play. I know talent when I see it. Sometimes I miss on it. Sometimes I hit on it. Nico can play. He can play. I just realized you had 8K views on the Nuss Bus breakdown. Keep up the great content. I appreciate you. Man, I love that video. My first Nuss video. I actually need to re-edit it because I think the reason why that video, well, actually it depends. I've had a few Nuss Bus videos I think go up to 8,000. Is it the spring game study or was it the high school study? I really like the high school one because the funny thing about Garrett Nussmeier, and this still blows my mind. He had the highest completion percentage of any senior high school quarterback that's ever gone to LSU. Okay? Highest. That's crazy. Think about all the great high school quarterbacks that have gone to LSU. He had the best out of any senior high school quarterback playing at an extremely high level in Texas. Oh, the spring game one. Okay, good. I like that one too. But Jake Peets and Mangus and the whole staff gave him no chance. Oh, man. I don't want to get into another Max Johnson debate. I just don't because the discourse gets crazy and I get labeled a Max hater, and that's fine. But yeah, Creek, it's funny. Like I'm gonna run through the quarterbacks really quickly that were the best high school quarterbacks. Um, Ryan was definitely the best, and then Joe's high school stats were probably the second best. Miles was probably third best, and then Nuss, Walker, and Brandon Harris are probably any one of those three you could say for fourth or fifth. Now, here were the high school quarterbacks that didn't have good senior stats. Zach Mettenberger didn't have great senior stats. Ironically, Max Johnson didn't either, and they're from the same high school. TJ Finley didn't have good senior stats. Matt Flynn wasn't a dominant high school quarterback. So you notice some of the quarterbacks there were good, and some of them weren't. Okay, so it's not the be all end all if you dominate in high school. For instance, like if and I wonder if Shane is still in here or not. Shane, Shane's very familiar with Parkway. Obviously with the Terrace Marshall collection. Shane, let me know if you're still in here or not. I mean, Brandon Harris was good in high school. Like that kid dominated. Did it help that he was throwing to Terrace Marshall? No, Terrace Marshall was way after that. Terrace Marshall had the kid that went to TCU throwing him the football. But anyway, Brandon Harris was dominant in high school. And he just, I don't know what happened. So, well, come on. The quarterback that went to TCU, he had injuries. Come on. Justin Rogers. That's it. Justin Rogers. But yeah, I thought Brandon Harris was bulletproof. I thought he was going to be really good. I really did. But man, that's it. Yes, Justin Rogers to Terrace Marshall. God, I thought you remember though? Yeah, Justin Rogers. There you go. So was Justin Rogers special, Shane? Let me know what you think. Man, it's crazy because he's also been injury prone. Esteban, good to see you, man. Esteban, I think I sent you Michael Brocker's cards or Matt Flynn, either one. I do agree with this. Like TJ Finley's games were sad. He had the worst offensive line I've ever seen. But in that offensive line's defense at Ponchatoula, they switched from an option offense to like a pocket offense. And the one thing about these smaller schools is they run the option because oftentimes they don't have the offensive lineman to run a pocket quarterback system. TJ Finley just, I don't know if he's ever played behind a good offensive line his entire life. I really don't. But Justin, I thought Brandon Harris, man, I thought he was going to be special. And obviously, he's a special coach. He's getting interviewed by the Rams, coaching with Texas now. I love Brandon Harris. I loved his attitude. $318. Let's go. Lindsey Scott's still playing. You know what's funny? You know who just retired? Someone correct me on this. And Chris, maybe you can. Didn't Lowell Narcisse just retire? I think Lowell Narcisse just retired. But man, Terrace Marshall in high school was a movie, man. I just love that kid. I really do. It's just this celebration. I just love the meant to be stuff. It's crazy. So crazy. I agree with this too. I agree with this. And ironically, they kept comparing Justin Rogers to Brandon Harris. And I was like, yeah, they're Brandon Harris was special. Special. Yeah, Narcisse. Well, Narcisse was a good non-power 5 QB. Oh man, Anthony Jennings. Thank goodness for Jeremy Hill and Jarvis Landry and Odell for those final few games. Especially Jay Hill and Jarvis for the Arkansas-Iowa game. So Pearl was actually really good. We talked about Ryan a little bit earlier. Ryan Pearl is actually a really good college quarterback. I mean, he won LSU a lot of football games. Florida game, we don't win. We don't win Florida. We don't win Tennessee. And those are just facts, right? Tennessee is for sure. Now, did he play unbelievably? No, but it helped having a 5-star backup quarterback. Also helped having Jonathan Zenon in that game. But still. Once again, thanks to Pressy Collection, PressyCollection.com. We'll keep this thing moving along. Jack Abraham. I love it. What's up, Don? Arch's dad is Cooper Manning. Let's give him his due for raising a good, solid football player. His uncles are famous, and his dad is his dad. Yeah, once again, shout out to all the dads. But yeah, Cooper was a good athlete too. Who could forget no chest Gunnar Keel? Gunnar Keel? That kid couldn't play a lick. My goodness. Andrew Hatch. Roger, I'm still waiting on this. I don't know if I want to name drop who you're referencing here again. That's still the craziest thing. I would love to have that person on the channel. I'm still kind of perplexed at someone because I looked up to that guy. I still do. Dix, what's good? He and his wife are members of the PHL T-shirt club. There you go. Let's see here. Let me see. I don't know if my camera died or not, but here we go. My camera just froze. It's kind of weird. Like my camera is like my fancy camera here. Let me see if I can do this right here. There we go. I don't know why that did that. Let's see here. There we go. I don't know why. Let's see if it's frozen here. All right. Well, I'll just keep it going. Andrew Hatch would have won that 2008 Bama game. Let's see. Let's see if I pop back up. There we go. Andrew Hatch would have won that 2008 Bama game. Maybe. I'm still an Andrew Hatch believer. I'm an Andrew Hatch believer. Nobody come after me for my Andrew Hatch takes. He's actually a really good wide receiver for Virginia. Believe it or not, he's probably going to get drafted as a wide receiver. They have they have Brennan Armstrong, who's a really good quarterback, and yeah, he's good. He's good. What's good, John? Yes, you'll never walk alone, my friend. So There you go. See here. I don't want to talk about Phil Jerkovic on this channel. Let's see. Who's the second best QB in the SEC after Young and Chance? It will be an LSU guy by the end of the season. Hendon Hooker's the second best. I mean, that's just true. I know that sounds crazy, but Hendon Hooker's the second best. He's second best. KJ's got an argument. Will Rogers has a argument. In a perfect world, Will Levis has an argument. But Hendon Hooker's his second best. He has the second best play caller. Well, he's got the best play caller in the East. I think Heupel's second best, the best play caller in the East. And there you go. Spencer Rattler. I can see Spencer having a bounce back. I can. I do think the Caleb Williams thing could have spooked him some. Sometimes when there is just such a transcendently talented quarterback sitting behind you and everyone on the team knows he's better than you are, it could force you to press. So now Rattler goes to South Carolina, where it's last year they played 4 different quarterbacks, and one of them was a coach. But I would take Hendon Hooker number 2, and number 3, I would probably say KJ. I would probably say KJ number 3. My brother will be at the Manning camp tomorrow. I wish him good luck. So there you go. Oh, we're not going to do the heartbreaking LSU moment question. I think I saw someone ask that. We're not going to do that. This is all positivity tonight. I know we're in the offseason. I totally get it. But we're not going to do that. I'll do this. I don't know who asked it, your most heartbreaking LSU moment. I will answer it if I get a super chat. Okay? But it's positive. We got a mother effing commitment tonight. Let's go. Any day is a good day when you get a commitment. Especially a wide receiver. We got no other wide receivers in the class right now. Let's go. Wide receivers. Let's go. Jaylen Brown, come on down. Let me ask you this. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Oh, I mean, so it was you, Dexico? You have a cross as your profile photo and you wanted to ask me a sad question? Should be uplifting, positive, encouraging K-Love. I mean, come on. I think everyone's going to say, the Clemson game, but it was a Clemson game because like a few seconds after I met Barry Sanders. I know that sounds like just a crazy story, but it actually happened. And I was with my dad, my closest friend, my best friend, and LSU just wins the national title, greatest team of all time. And boom, you freaking run into Barry freaking Sanders. Really? Huh? So, I mean, nothing. I mean, my wedding's around the corner. I don't know if that's going to be better than that. I'm being honest. Yeah, don't tell hey that. Actually, tell her. She would agree with you. I knew we were getting married, but I didn't know that LSU was going to have the greatest college football team of all time. And boom, I run into arguably the best NFL player ever, Barry freaking Sanders. Whatever you heard how the brothers from Texas that went to AL are doing? The Brockermeyers, neither of them can play, apparently. Neither of them can play. If they could, they'd be playing by now. Because Alabama's offensive line sucked last year. That's the most underrated thing about Bryce Young, because I think most people just kind of assumed that Alabama's offensive line was actually good. It wasn't. But yeah, they just aren't good football players. Now, could that change this year? Yeah, that could change. But we shall see. Hold on. I'm getting a call right here. Hey, you're on live on PHL. What's up, man?
Am I really?
Yeah, we're doing a live stream right now. Say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
What's going on, man?
I didn't get on. I haven't been on YouTube, so I didn't know you were live. Would you like for me to call you back?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. You can call.
We could do an interview right here.
Or, I mean, we can. I mean, where are you? Are you at home?
Yeah, I'm at home.
Okay, I could. You want to jump on? I could send you a link.
No, I didn't see you were doing a show, so
I'll call you after. I'll call you after.
I'm going to watch the show now.
How about some of you might know who that is? That was Brian Kelly right there. Can you believe it? Brian Kelly just called the show. What's good, Greg? Good to see you. I don't know why he wouldn't jump on. Dang, Don, where have you been? Most heartbreaking moment was seeing O fall so far, not him get fired after UCLA or the 08 Bama game, 2011 Natty. You know what? 2011 Natty's the worst. 2011 Natty's the worst. Okay, let's be honest. All right. 2011 Natty's the worst. Carter! So it's very rare. It's very rare that I get onto somebody, but Caucus has been. Who remembers Caucus? All Caucus has done is flown to London. Didn't let me know that when I was in London, I was going to see him. It's good to see you again, Caucus. No, well, look at here. Did you know? I can't believe it, Blake. You won't believe this. Brian Kelly just called my phone, and he wouldn't want to jump on the live stream with me. Could you believe that, Blake? I mean, nobody would have ever thought that it might have been you on the phone, but everyone thinks it's Brian. That, of course, is obviously my good buddy Blake Ruffino. I won't say anything, Blake. I won't. Pretty excited though. Pretty excited about what's coming up on the AYS stuff. Missing link for LSU for years has been a premier QB, and our QB room is looking good. Which QB recruit will we get? I'm just going to put it out there. Dante Moore's committing to LSU. Pegasus, stop. Britt, thank you for the super chat. Also, once again, thank you for your service. No, it wasn't. It wasn't Van on the phone. Shout out to you, Britt. Britt, you get to pick the next topic. Feel free to talk about whatever you want. Okay. So if you're just now joining us, shout out to our top super chatter tonight, which is Shane. He joined the PHL T-shirt club. He is also the best Terrace Marshall collector I have ever seen. I love his Terrace Marshall collector. I don't know how he got all these freaking one-of-ones. He also got a Jamar Chase 1-of-1. Are you kidding me? Jamar Chase's cards. Bill Gates can't afford Jamar Chase's cards. Warren Buffett couldn't afford Jamar Chase's cards. And Shane got lucky in a break that he got a Jamar Chase and Terrace Marshall, both of their autographs on one card. Both of their autographs on one card. And there was only one of those. It said 1-of-1 on there. There's a ton of Jamar and Terrace autographs, but there was only one of his version in existence, and he won it. And I looked at that card and I said, I know you're not going to sell it to me, but that's a pretty cool mother freaking card right there. No, Brent, you can pick whatever you want, man. Yeah, as far as Barry's Oklahoma State tape is crazy. So missing link is always at Elite QB. So for me, Rick, the most likely scenario is going to be Ricky Collins. I still think that's going to be what's going to happen. I think Ricky Collins is going to be an LSU Tiger next year. Just putting it out in the universe. As many of you know, people in Ricky Collins' circle watches our channel, including our good friend Fitzpatrick. Shout out to Fitzpatrick. I don't think he's in here tonight. We're working on getting Ricky Collins on this channel. Once again, his recruitment is very fluid. He is currently committed to Purdue. I think he's going to be at LSU next year. I think that's what's going to happen. I do. But I'm just putting this out there in the universe, Rick, that Dante Moore is going to come to LSU. That would be very nice. That would be very, very, very nice. I don't know why everyone wanted to talk about 2011. Really? 2011? And Esteban, if I was in his position, I'd say the same thing as well. Because if you're committed to a school, you want to assure that school that's where you're going. But you want to know what else, Esteban, happened this week? There was a young man by the name of Reuben Owens. Okay. 5-star running back going to Louisville. He said he's not taking any more visits. He is locked in to being a Louisville Cardinal. Just because you say it doesn't mean it's going to happen. That's what makes recruiting so much fun. Nothing is official until you sign that dotted line, baby. I know, Dexico. I pray every night before I eat. But little did I know that Dexico, with the cross as his avatar, was going to say, hey, Carter, think of, this team that you research and talk about every day. What I want you to do in the middle of all this positivity is think about the absolute worst moment. And I did. It is still in the back of my mind. And it's funny, all these great champions, the Dabos, the Sabins, the Bradys, the Jordans, they always say the losses are so much better than the wins. And those guys have won freaking everything. And they all say, I don't care about the championships. I just care about the games that I lost. I don't know why society is like that. But we focus on the negative. We dwell on the negative. It's all good, Creek. It's all good, man. You could have hung out with me and Shane. The card show was incredible. Caucus, okay. So Caucus, you choose this to be your super chat question. Okay. You and Pegasus team up on me. And Pegasus, the only way that this would cheer me up, since you brought this back up, is if you join the PHL T-shirt club tonight. Like Caucus, because y'all are teaming up on me here. Y'all bring up the Champions League. Now, I know I'm wearing my Liverpool hat. I wear it like every now and then. I'm proud to be a Red. I'm proud that we signed Darwin Nunez, baby. And we're coming for the whole shebang. We're winning the quadruple next year. Be ready. But I digress. LSU football chat. I think Arch is going to flip to UVA only because I know his visit really, really well. To me, he's a guy that wants to create his own legacy. It makes sense. UVA competition is going to be thinner. They just hired an offensive-minded head coach in Tony Elliott. UVA playing the ACC. Texas will be joining the SEC in more than likely Arch's second year as a starter, 2024-2025. How many great football players are from Virginia? Okay. How many top 5 picks are from Virginia? Chris Long. Ironically, Chris Long was probably a top 5 pick because his last name, right? Kidding. Chris Long actually was a really good prospect, and he was a really good pro. But his dad is one of the best defensive linemen of all time. Chris Long was a really good football player, okay? And I like Chris Long. I've met him a few times, and his podcast is good. Now, go to Virginia. Just had a good quarterback, Brennan Armstrong. I think Arch at Virginia would kind of fit well. The only issue, though, about going to Virginia with Arch Manning would be a clear case where Arch himself is bigger than the football program. And that sometimes doesn't work out, right? You want things to balance themselves out. Texas is a big brand. The Manning name is a big brand. Virginia football is not a big brand. Virginia football is not even a big brand, not even a top 5 brand in the ACC. So, flip to UVA. I would like it just because that is just even more chaotic than picking Texas. I like that, Rick. You know what's funny? Someone at the Shreveport card show this past weekend had a vicious, and I mean vicious, Matt Mock card collection. And I have 0 Matt Mock cards. 0. I think I might have 1. Okay, so let's go to Brett's Super Chat here. Hot take. Brennan will stand tall behind Kelly's offense and deliver strikes on time and target with minimum mistakes. LSU wins 10 games this year. Okay. Is it a hot take? Maybe. It honestly depends if we're including the bowl game or not. 10-2 would be tough in the regular season. 10-3 is obviously a little bit more plausible. And look, K Ford Ratings has LSU at a, what did he say? I think like a 15-ish% chance of being 10-3 this year. LSU also is projected to be in the most one-score games, according to K Ford Ratings. And he's just another analytics guy, but according to his metric system, LSU is projected to be in. Well, I'm going to throw this question out there for Britt's super chat here. LSU is projected to be in how many one-score games this year? Okay. Out of the 12 games, how many games does K Ford's ratings project LSU to be in? How many one-score games? 7 points or less, or 8 points or less? Danny was in here earlier, Caucus. I'm going to tell Danny you jump back in. Carl says 8. LA Mom says 5. Take a look at the poll question here. 3 out of every 4 of you say Arch Manning is not the best quarterback in Louisiana. John says 3. Carl says 8. LA Mom says 5. Let's see here. Blake is a big soccer guy. He's a Liverpool fan. Just in case y'all didn't know. All right. Super chat question for Britt here. All right. There you go, Britt. You got a poll question. Poll is just now up. Chris says 6, and Creek and Carl are actually correct. K Ford Rankings has LSU in 8 one-score games this year. Pretty crazy, okay? Did you know that 8 is tied for the second most in all of college football? Only Northern Illinois with 9. 9 one-score games. 9. It's crazy. 8 one-score games. There's only one other SEC team that is projected to play in as many one-score games as LSU. Okay? Can you name that team that is projected to play in that many one-score games? See her. Look at Nurse Card in her PHL shirt. That's good. Thank you for sending me this. You got the good. All right. Georgia, Stanford, Ole Miss, Missouri, Auburn. See up here. So LA Mom and John both get the right answer. It's actually Arkansas. Every year, Arkansas has always got one of the toughest schedules. So yeah, LSU and Arkansas are projected to play in the most one-score games this year. Now, that doesn't mean that both those teams will. What's very interesting, though, is according to K Ford ratings, Kentucky is actually projected to have the third best record in the SEC behind Alabama and Georgia. That's pretty crazy, right? So let me put this up right here. You guys know this is my favorite thing to do. This makes my heart very warm inside right here. Look at Nurse Court rocking her PHL shirt. I love it. I absolutely love it. That's good stuff. That makes me so happy. Thank you so much, Nurse Court, for repping the brand, and thank you so much for supporting PHL. I really do appreciate it. And Hey did not get mad at the courthouse comment. She laughed at it so much. There you are. All right, so Rick, I got in a conversation with my friend Lob earlier today, and this is pretty crazy. Like, I told her this: 50% of you guys on Tuesday night said once in your life you ran a sub 4.6 40-yard dash. When Cooper Kupp trained for his entire life to run a 40-yard dash in front of a gazillion NFL scouts, and he ran a 4.62. 50% of you. Jarvis Landry ran a 4.77. 50% of you. How can 50% of you live with yourself thinking at some point in your life you ran sub 4.6? Sub 4.6 is fast. That means you're running as fast as Devin White. You guys know I love you. And some of you might have been able to run sub 4.6. But Tuesday night, you got 4.6 is rolling. It is rolling. Rolling. And it's the worst kind of question to ask because number one, we can't prove it. And number two, we all do this, right? We do like to look back at our glory days. We like to look back at our glory days when we were all great athletes. But here's the thing. If you think of your 12-year-old self running a sub 4.6, you're not. You're not. You've got to be like it's really hard to run a sub 4.6. Like really, really, really hard. Greg, okay. Greg actually works out a bunch. He's actually an athlete. The lowest he ran was a 4.92. Okay. And that is still fast. It's not fast for a professional athlete. 4.92, though, is still moving. You would be shocked if you, like right now in your current state, if you ran next to somebody that ran a 4.92, they would more than likely dust you a lot worse than you would think. Okay. Trenton Holiday's on a different planet. I mean, he's on a different stratosphere when it comes to speed. He's in the Tyreek Hill, Jeff Demps discussion. And then that next tier of the really, really fast guys is like your 4.2, 4.3 guys, right? That's like a Jamar Chase, Chris Hilton kind of fast. But sub 4.6 is huffing. It's huffing. Okay, that was one of the funnest debates ever on Tuesday night. Like, how can you look at yourself in the mirror and say, at one point in my life, I was as fast as Devin White is right now? Really? Devin White? Devin freaking White. Yeah, Jordan Davis is a freak. Man, his 40 is still nuts to me. What was it? If you're that big and you're running 5 flat, that is hard. But 6'6", 341, that guy is a unicorn. There's only one of those guys walking around. And, one of those like super athletes, Tony Siragusa, just passed. I mean, Goose could scoot. Man, I miss Tony Siragusa. Goose. 4.78. Goodness. That is obscene. That is obscene. Obscene. So I kind of want to train and see what like my time, like a time that I could get like right now. Like what would be a time that I could go out there and get. I wasn't ever fast. I don't even think I ever cracked 5 flat, to be quite honest. But yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm glad you brought that up because we're actually going to talk about Devin White during running back week, which starts on Sunday night. So be on the lookout for that. I'm glad you brought that up. Devin White was 258 pounds coming out. I'll put it right here. I guess I'm the only one that does this. Haley got on me about this, my lovely fiance. So I don't know about you, but I find the weirdest things to write on. And this is all my notes for running back week right here. Right here. Also, this was from my Kyle Parker piece from earlier today. I was looking up the ages of other 5-star receivers. Here's some more of my running back week study right here on the back of this envelope. I find the weirdest things just to write on for like scratch paper. I just grabbed the soonest thing, the closest thing. Men, we're just so lazy, right? Like, men, why do we do this? Like, I could just get up and get a fresh sheet of paper, but no, I got an envelope right here. Let me just write. What? I don't know. I don't know. It might not be a men. It might just be a me thing. You do the same thing? You do the same thing? Derek says, I run faster downhill. Oh, Pegasus. I like where your mind is. Carter's been a top DT take over SEC every year recently. Is Roy next? Okay, let me do this, Pegasus. If I were drafting interior SEC defensive linemen, I'm probably still taking Jalen Carter slightly over Jaquelin Roy. They're slightly different players. Out of draft eligible guys, I might take Mason Smith over all of them, though. I might take Mason Smith over all of them. Now look, I let you guys know I love Jaquelin Roy a lot. I think he's a better pass rusher, but man, Mason's so good, man. He's so good. Jalen Carter's special too. It's those three guys. They're animals. But yeah. I'm also a Darren Reed guy. How we feeling about that? 4-star lineman out of Georgia. One thing I like about Darren Reed, I'm gonna keep bringing this up. On tape, on his highlight reel, he is dominating at every single position on the defensive line. Every single one of them. That gives me chills. If you're Jamar Cain and you see that, you just say, God, I could play this kid anywhere. And he honestly could. Like, Darren Reed could play any of the positions up front. He's 6'5", 260. That is a perfect size lineman for an odd front. You can do a lot of different things if you get those kind of athletes. It would be a really nice pickup. I hate to think Ohio State's going to get it because Ohio State's got Larry Johnson. He's a great defensive line coach. Ohio State, they put good defensive linemen into the NFL. I give Ohio State a lot of credit. I'm crossing my fingers on LSU. So I want to bring this up. Okay. I love all your viewers. Just a little housekeeping thing really quickly. This is why I always say to, I want to see an avatar of your face, or I want to see an avatar of something that means a lot to you. Okay. Now, this is very key. So I'm sitting here. We're getting a lot of comments. Very lucky to have a lot of really cool people stop by tonight. But you see, Carl and Fred have the same color. You see, it can. I've been getting their comments mixed up. So, number one, I am being selfish because I want to see all your faces. I want to see a photo of you. I want to see a photo of you at an LSU game. I want to see you in your PHL shirts. You get extra points for that. So you see why I want to see your beautiful faces? Because unlike Tuesday night, you are the guest. You are the co-host of PHL. Your comments and y'all play a big role into what we're doing here. And I want to see your faces. I want to see it. I love Michael's dogs here. Love the interview with the long snapper the other night, Carter. You should tell how pumped that guy was being involved to do a legit interview and to be here. Keep the interviews coming, bro. That's it, Michael. Obviously, Tuesday, we're talking to one of the legends of the game. Charles Alexander will be on PHL. You don't get these opportunities often, right? And we got to enjoy it. Charles is gracing us with his presence, throwing it back. We don't do much vintage LSU stuff here. We don't talk pre-2003 LSU that much. We mostly stay with current LSU stuff. Look, a lot of our older viewers are going to really enjoy Charles Alexander. I don't know if Skipper is still up. Skipper is a historian, LSU football historian. He's a big fan of the game. He was a big Charles Alexander fan. Charles is one of the best. He's one of the best college football players of the modern era. See what we got here. Let's see. LSU logos. Let me see here. What is this? That's kind of cool, Chris. I didn't know you had hedgehogs. That's nice. I look at some of the DMs you guys sent me during the live stream. Let's see here. Haley's hitting me up. There you go. Okay, let's see Carl's. There we go. This is a good photo right here. Is this you, Carl? What year is this? I'm curious. Might be 2005. Knowing how much cameras have advanced. That's good. I like this. Look at Carl smiling. Redhead, gotta love it. Let's see. Straight from the 70. Dude, you're gonna love Charles Alexander then, man. That's great. Let's see. That's good. Oh, that's a good one right there. Oh man, E-Dub. Now that's nice. At the Texas game. Needs to be a horns down though, right? The hedgehog. I love it. Ginger for life. Shout it out. Let's see this really quickly. WWL. That's good. I used to go on WWL once a week at night with my buddy Seth Dunlap. Love Seth. I miss Seth. You know, Chris, I've kind of evolved on this position. Chris has kind of changed my position on this. I do think it is very important to get a quarterback every cycle. I used to not think that, but I really do think it's because if you get a QB every cycle, that guarantees you're going to have one extra QB on the roster that does not expect to play that year. So why is that important? Well, it gives you an emergency option every single year, right? So I know I said that. I'm always down to evolve my position. And I did. I said in a video that, hey, it's not the be all end all that LSU doesn't land a quarterback in 2023. And in essence, it's not. But I feel I feel it is a little bit more important than what I initially thought. And the more I think about it, the more that makes sense, especially with the transfer portal being the way it is now. And speaking of Chris, this is cool. Okay. So he sent me this. I kind of like this. I like to see how you guys watch PHL. A lot of you send me photos of you watching on your big screen, which is obviously really cool. So, yes, that is Chris's hedgehog. I love it. That is so cool. I freaking love it. I never thought like I never thought we'd have a hedgehog PHL fan. I love it. I'm gonna ask Hey if I can get a hedgehog. Yeah, that's cool. I didn't think you're a hedgehog guy. No, okay, just some random recorder. But my pups were sniffing the heck out of my Bug Bannon T-shirt. I think there might have been some Z. Huh? So you know what's funny? I keep my shirts away from Z. Now, I don't know. Maybe Michael, it's the aura of Bug. Maybe your dog senses you're wearing a booger band. Bug the dog. Shout him out. Yeah, it's you're not the first person that's told me that though. Yeah. Jared, good to see you. I love the Herb Jones. I love the Herb Jones. I love it. Not on Herb. Let's go. That's good. Oh, look at this. No, Michael, I think some of it is just Bug. You guys know. I know some of you are new. I know some of you are new to the channel. I know. But Boog the dog. I don't think Z-Baby's going to make an appearance tonight. I think Hayes already knocked out. But yeah. See here. So this is what I'm striving for, to be successful enough one day to have this setup. I love my current setup. I'm super blessed to have, this room as a part of the PHL studio and whatnot. But let me show you this really quickly from one of our new viewers. Shout out to Shane. Look at this setup. Okay. So this is a dream setup here. You got PHL. We got so for those that don't know, if you see in the bottom left, you got the American flag, really cool. But in the bottom left corner, that's actually a light box for sports card photos. And I'll move my bottom banner really quickly. And you see, actually, crap, I screwed this up. You see right here, you see all of Shane's sports cards. This is what I want to do. I want to get y'all sports card collections up to that right there. That's good. I'm glad there's another like diehard hobbyist part of our PHL community now. All right, Mick, we will see you Saturday night for our next live stream. Don't forget, Mick, I know you're also old school PHLer as well. Alexander the Great on PHL Tuesday night. Really looking forward to that. I interviewed Charles a long time ago, so we actually have some chemistry, so I'm really excited about that. And we're going to just chat ball. He's going to share stories. It's going to be a little bit different. It's part of running back week. Why not have one of the best to ever actually play the position join us? Pegasus, I won't get too far into this because we're an hour 52 in. Oh yeah, LSU versus Texas with the Arch. I love that, Jared. This is simply false. This is simply false. Okay. Let's first come to this conclusion. Louisiana is, and the South in general, is not an NBA part of the country. It's not, the NBA is not, it's just not a thing, right? There are people in the South that do care a lot about the NBA. It's just it's not NBA markets, okay? So in general, southern states, especially in the southeastern part, we're not LA, we're not Chicago, we're not basketball cities, okay? I'd be the first to acknowledge that. But at the same time, the Pelicans have a good fan base. They've never not had a good fan base. Are they the Knicks fan base? No. Are we the Bucks fan base? No. No. But if you win, fans are going to show up, and the blender was flat out lit once we started winning. Okay? It's just how it is. People care. They do. People care for the team. Okay? Now, I might be biased because I am a Pelicans fan. Behind LSU and Liverpool, they're my number 3 team. They are. But they care. They do. Now, I'm a little bit more of a casual Pelicans fan. I don't watch every game. They play a lot of night games. I do a lot of night streams. But as you guys saw with the 2 playoff games, New Orleans will always be a Saint city. Louisiana will always be a football state. Nothing's ever going to change that. But I do think people care. Okay? I do think people care. Now, will the Pelicans ever be a top 10 NBA brand? No. No. And that's fine. The Bucks aren't a top 10 NBA brand. You can be a top 10 non-brand and still win a lot. Or if you get really lucky and you get a Steph Curry, you could turn your team into a top 10 NBA brand. But yeah, official Friday. Yeah, you did. Huh? He was the topic of discussion. Let's see here. All right, I will share this photo right here. Okay, let's see here. And this is also a photo of another PHL diehard. Strohs just made me cry, but that's why we're here, man. We're here for you, Matty Ice. Zion is not a dumpster fire. Everything's trending in the right direction. So here's another PHL supporter. This is Derek with Underdog Fantasy in the background. So that's Underdog right there in the top center, right there. You go to Underdog Fantasy if you want to sign up. Promo code Carter, Carter. You're helping out PHL big time if you go sign up with Underdog Fantasy. Still not legal in Louisiana, but still underdogfantasy.com, promo code Carter. There you go. But official Friday, yeah, you didn't miss a whole lot with the Arch Manning discussion, really. Other than everything. My wife's work uses hedgehogs to help trouble kids regulate and calm down. If you're anxious and ramped up, hedgehogs will ball up and get defensive. Oh, that's interesting. I did not know this. No wonder why I sucked at Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, I would get so anxious in those games. Okay, you die-hard video gamers. I'm not a gamer anymore, but I grew up playing Sega Genesis like crazy. You guys remember Sonic the Hedgehog 1, level 4, the Labyrinth Zone? Oh my goodness. That sucked. The Labyrinth Zone was freaking incredibly difficult to get through. Why was that level 4 of the game when there's like 10 levels? Why would the second hardest level be level 4? Because Sonic the Hedgehog teaches you about life. Okay? It teaches you that your biggest obstacles don't always come when it's most convenient. It could smack dab happen right now. And sometimes in life, you got to get that bubble for just one little grasp of air. Okay. That's what the Labyrinth Zone teaches you right there. In the smack dab middle in the game, they give you that difficult level where you're legit having to not drown. Right? I mean, that always bothered the heck out of me. Level 5, 6, 7, finna be a breeze, according to the great Ha Davis. Level 4 Labyrinth Zone, I don't even remember the names of any of the other levels. I don't even remember any of the other levels, really, at all. Right? I remember at the end, you had to beat that circle guy. And then the first level was easy. You just go around the loop. But level 4 Labyrinth Zone, Sonic the Hedgehog, or Labyrinth Zone. Astros just made me cry. Who cares about the Astros? Who cares about Major League Baseball? I'm just kidding. Like what you want to like. So I recorded an interview earlier today, and I just realized that I want to build like my LSU PC of some of my favorite LSU athletes, and I do not have a Sylvia Fowles card. So I need to get some Sylvia Fowles cards and Simone Augustus cards. My basketball collection isn't great. So T Mill, he was in here earlier. I sent him one of my favorite Shaq cards. I have some Shaq cards, I have some Chris Jackson cards, but I do want to expand my just like typical LSU PC of just some other legendary LSU athletes. Oh, Matty Ice, that's a tough question. For some reason in my gut, to go along with what Britt said earlier, let's take a look at the poll question here for Britt. How many one-score games will LSU play this year? 5-8 is currently winning the poll at 42%. Thought baseball was on strike. No, they got it together and they're playing. So there you go. Well, I didn't know we just hit 2 hours. I didn't even look at the time. We've had that much fun tonight. So here's what we'll do. Official Friday. I know you just jumped in, Matty Ice. I know you just jumped in. We have hit the 2-hour mark. I will answer as many LSU football questions in the next 5 minutes as I possibly can. Okay? But if you super chat, we keep it going all night long. Some of you are driving. I just got a message from Pierce. He is driving through the boondocks in Arkansas to get to wherever he needs to go. Feel free to shoot me that sounded strange. Feel free to shoot me any question you want. But if you super chat, we keep the party going all night long. Pierce is still alive. But yeah, as far as the NBA draft is concerned, we talked some NBA here at the end. I was hoping Jabari Smith went number 1 overall. So for those that remember, Jabari Smith played at Auburn, the kid that just got drafted. His dad played at LSU, right? His dad was a beast at LSU. Jabari Smith Sr., wore number 52. I loved him. I'm actually glad he went number 3 overall. I think the Rockets is a better landing spot. I really do like where Jabari Smith went. And I'm cheering for him because his dad was a really good player at LSU, like I mentioned. But if you actually go look this up, okay, if you look at the past decade of picks and you formed a team of the number 1 overall picks and you formed a team of the number 2 overall picks, and then you formed a team of the number 3 overall picks, the number 3 overall picks would destroy the number 2 and the number 1 overall picks, destroy them. Okay. The number 3 overall pick starting lineup would be Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Joel Embiid, Luka Doncic, and LaMelo Ball. Okay. The number 1 overall picks of the past decade would be, I actually pulled this up a minute ago. It'd be like Zion and a few others. It would be Zion, John Wall, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, and someone else. Number 2 overall picks, that's like Ja Morant and those guys. Number 3 overall picks have been better than the number 1 overall picks. Gabe Davis is overrated. That is all. I agree with you. I think Gabriel Davis having the playoff game that he did and the fact that it was watched by so many people and that he's the number 2 option in that offense, I think Jamison Crowder still has some gas left in the tank. I do. I think Jamison Crowder is the sleeper receiver to select for the Buffalo Bills. I'm not sure if I'm in favor of stacking Diggs and Josh Allen because you got to use so much draft capital to get that done. Isaiah McKenzie. Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons. Camera battery died, so now you get standard def. The coolest thing about standard def, though, is that you're able to see my cards in the background. You're able to see that Jeremy Hill game worn autographed jersey. I'm still shocked he gave that to me. I'm still kind of like going crazy. So Derek knows this being in the hobby. Shane knows this being in the hobby. It's hard to get game worn uniforms now. It's hard because they trade them at the end of games now. It's hard to get game worn anything. And the fact, there's the cool thing about game worn uniforms is that there is a finite amount of these in the atmosphere. Okay. So I'm a sucker for game worn anything. I have a Derek Jeter game worn wristband somewhere around here. Yeah, you're the thing though, Tony, is you're not going to have a ton of Ben Simmons fans. Man, here's my thing about this, Tony. I don't know who could be a Ben Simmons fan. Like that's the hard thing about it. Like, I don't know. It's very strange. Do y'all like type Y for yes, type N for no. Do you like the fancy camera better than the webcam? Type Y for yes, type N for no. If you like the fancy cam compared to the webcam. Once again, the cool thing about the webcam is you do get to see the background a little bit cleaner. Okay. So I want to show you this. This is the only thing I've ever bought when I was little. So my dad was a really big time. So he liked the fancy cam better. So when I went to the National Collecting Convention, I went 3 years in a row when I was little. 2010, 2011, 2012. This Derek Jeter game worn wristband is the only thing that I've ever gotten from the National. But I want to show you guys. This is what Shane, new PHLer, sent this. My friend Shane, I really do appreciate this. A new Jeremy Hill card for the PC. Thank you so much. Man, he's got such a pretty autograph too. Love it. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. It will join my Jeremy Hill PC. Here's another one of my favorite Jeremy Hill cards right here. J Hill autograph uniform. Is this game worn or player worn? Player worn. But yes, J Hill, that is my guy, man. Still crazy. One of my favorite LSU players of all time. Like the whole view of this is what I like about this camera here is that you are able to see everything. Let's go to Michael B's super chat. We talk a lot about on-field coaches. I think Moffitt at strength and conditioning coach was cutting edge and very good for a while. It seems the new strength and conditioning crew has re-energized something that has gotten stagnant here. Thoughts? Okay. So I'm really glad you brought this up. I love innovative thinkers. Okay. The one thing, okay, there were so many players getting hurt over the past couple of seasons that Tommy Moffitt was getting blamed for it. Does he deserve some blame for it? Maybe. Injuries are so random. So I've shared this before. I am very lucky to have known a lot of people in the sports medicine field. Very lucky. And they all say the same thing. Injuries are, for the most part, random. Okay. Now, we were very injured these past couple of seasons, but a lot of SEC teams are. According to Dave Bard 2 CFB Matrix, the SEC is the most injured conference in college football. Okay. So If you are a proponent like myself of going from 8 to 9 games, keep that in mind. But also keep this in mind as well, as far as like Tommy Moffitt. I will defend Tommy Moffitt when people say this, that he got stale and he got old. That is not true. That is not true at all. Tommy Moffitt was the first strength and conditioning coach at a major program to bring in perch technology. And I won't get into perch, but he was one of the first, okay? And perch measures things differently than different types of strength and conditioning technology. I thought Tommy Moffitt was still a good strength and conditioning coach. I'm not just saying that because I know some former players, and all the former players at LSU were not happy that Tommy Moffitt was gone. I don't think he was bad. But at the same time, I do think because Brian Kelly was coming from somewhere else. Remember, Ed Orgeron was already on staff when Les Miles took over, and Les Miles took over from a winning coach. So continuity made more sense. Okay. I do think it was best for all parties involved that there was a new voice with the strength and conditioning program, because when there is a new coach coming in, the new coach is the most important person, your head coach. However, that new head coach does not spend the most time with the players. The strength and conditioning coach does. So, if a new coach with a new voice, with a new organizational structure, communication structure, we've talked about that on this channel a lot, there needed to be a new strength and conditioning coach. Needed. And I don't think Tommy Moffitt got bad at his job. I don't. I've done my due diligence on this. I could be totally off on this. I don't think he slacked. I don't think he worked any less hard these past couple of seasons. In fact, I think he might have worked harder. I don't know Tommy Moffitt well. I've met him a few times. I have no reason to just stoop for this guy. I don't think he was the issue. I don't think he was the issue the past couple of seasons. Injuries are random. I think our defensive back room being the most injured, while at the same time playing man coverage on every snap and very predictable coverages on every snap, might have gone hand in hand. We'll see. This is why I really like this super chat, because Michael was fair about this. I still think Moffitt was good, but I do think the new strength and conditioning coach was needed. I do. I really, really do. And that has nothing to do with Tommy Moffitt. Nothing. And honestly, in all the interviews that Tommy Moffitt has done, no ill will. No, it doesn't seem like he is bitter. He did a few interviews, and he said after the UCLA game, he knew it was done. He knew it was done. That man gave his life to this program. And I, man, I don't know. I just don't think he was the issue, and I just don't. Dexico, thank you for the super chat. We'll keep this thing going. What's my favorite card of all time, regardless of sport or level? That's a good question. So for me, I'm a Tyrann Mathieu collector. So his number one rookie card is actually on sale for eBay. It's not in my price range. I do have one of his one of ones. My favorite card, so my dad grew up a big Jordan collector. So the Fleer 86 Jordan is always, it is the most iconic card in more modern basketball cards. And then, vintage would be the Honus Wagner, obviously, but or the Mantle, whatever. My favorite card, though, I love the 2004 Topps inserts, and that was a good rookie class with Fitzgerald. Eli, Big Ben, Phillip Rivers. That was a fun class. Ironically, LaDainian Tomlinson's got really cool cards. I know that's like totally random, but the cool thing about LaDainian Tomlinson cards is the see you Saturday night. Good to have you back, Caucus. LaDainian Tomlinson's cards, the reason why they look so cool is that the Chargers have gold trim in their uniforms, and gold is a big like variation of a card in the hobby. His cards just look perfect. LaDainian Tomlinson to me is just a perfect football player. Just he looks like a football player. He looks like a running back. He had the visor, wore number 21. 21's like one of the coolest football numbers of all time. He just popped. Every LaDainian Tomlinson card is just dope. It's so dope. I still think he's underrated. And it's still funny, like, you can build a really good LaDainian Tomlinson collection for very cheap. Like, for instance, okay, before I answer Dexco's super chat here, this is going to blow your mind, okay? You can build a top 10 LaDainian Tomlinson collection in the entire planet, on the planet Earth, cheaper than you could buy, like, Trey Lance cards right now. I'm serious. That's how undervalued running backs are compared to quarterbacks in the hobby. And LaDainian Tomlinson was freaking unreal. He is one of the best football players who has ever walked the freaking planet. There's not 10 running backs better than LaDainian Tomlinson. The only guys that are way better than LaDainian Tomlinson, and way is a strong word, is Barry Sanders. That's it. Other modern guys. You know, we can talk about Jim Brown and Walter Payton and whatnot. They're probably better as well, but LaDainian Tomlinson. I mean, especially considering, and Derek, you're a big fantasy guy and card guy as well, especially considering L freaking T played in the fantasy football era. And if he was on your team, do you know how much money LaDainian Tomlinson made people just by you simply having the number 1 overall pick? It's insane. If you had LaDainian Tomlinson on your team and you had a pulse and you knew just a little bit about fantasy football, you were going to finish top 3 in your league. Like, that's how freaking money that guy was. Like, LaDainian Tomlinson cards are insane. They are some of the coolest gold parallels, whatever. Let's go to Dexco here. I'm sorry about making you wait for your super chat. I'm sorry I went on a card rant. That's my fault, Dexco. I appreciate your super chat. Thank you for uplifting me tonight. I don't know how this works, Carter, but I was wondering, do you think we wear the purple helmets from the World War I uniforms? I think it's cool to see recruits wearing different uniforms in the visit pick. So I'm guessing you're talking about the purple chrome helmets. You know what's funny about that, Dexco? Now that you mention that, you're right. You're right. Okay. Like, the purple chrome helmets, they look cool. I'm a traditionalist when it comes to LSU uniforms. I'm not a traditionalist in a lot of different ways. I'm a very modern guy, right? But LSU uniforms, I want to see my Tigers gold helmet, white uniform, gold pants. But I am down for the purple chrome helmets, right? I am. Type Y for yes, type in for no. Do you believe LSU should rock the purple chrome helmets next year? Type Y for yes, type in for no. Yeah, LT was better than Marshall Faulk. It's close, but Marshall Faulk is another guy who wore golden uniforms. His cards are really cool. But his rookies are going to be Colts. So, yeah, I mean, I take LT over Marshall Faulk. I do. It's close, but I do. LT was insane, man. Let me make sure I'm getting this right, Dexco. Let's see. We're having a freaking live stream tonight. Dang it. I didn't save this right. This. So is this the helmet you're talking about right here? Pierce wants to keep the tradition. I like it. Shane says yes. Marshall's up there, but man, LT's just like the most money fantasy guy because Marshall Falk. And I know LT played with Gates. But yeah, I mean, but true. Peterson or Tomlinson. I'm actually still taking LT. I know that's you know disagreement, but yeah. Anytime we talk about sports cards, it makes me sad listening to my dad talk about all the Mickey Mantles, Roos, and Jackie Robinsons he had. So did he sell them? Did he lose them in a fire? What happened? If he still has them, I would go look for them because, ironically, Mickey Mantle's cards cost way more than the other two. I mean, Babe Ruth and Jackie Robinson still have very expensive cards, but Mickey Mantle is the gold standard in sports cards. 57 Mantle. But I'm not a vintage sports card guy. I'm just not. But Mantle's cards are truly great. I actually have some Mantle bobbleheads. I'm a big Yankee bobblehead guy. Not so much anymore. I'm all in on sports cards now, but and game worn uniforms. I might be the only one with a deep snapper uniform pretty soon. Mickey Mantle, Babe Ruth, Jackie Robinson. I like it. I like it. Oh no! Oh man! Those cards are probably just sitting in a garbage dump somewhere. Just man. Man. Mm. God, that's sad. That's harsh. But then again, there's no way you're thinking that those cards are ever going to be uh anything. Let's go. If you can interview anyone on the team, who would it be? And I haven't really thought about this because we've been fortunate to interview 2 players. Working on a few more. Slade Roy, Jack Best. Shout out to those 2. So my favorite player on the team is Dre. Right, I've always been a Dre guy. Now that I have not a strong relationship with either one of these guys, but Jack Best and Slade Roy, I'm going to be biased because they gave us their time to do an interview. I'd love to get Jaquelin Roy on here. I'm biased towards defensive tackles in general because I play defensive tackle, and Jaquelin Roy and Mason Smith could do things that I could only wish that I could do when I played. And I love both of those guys. So I would like to have both of them on at the same time. That would be a dream of mine. We are doing running back week next week. So any of the running backs would be fun as well. That's a good question. But here's the thing, Michael B. And this is very important as well. If you do like the sports card thing, you can't think of what could have been, or I wish I could still have this card. You have to you have to just keep it moving, right? Like, I let go of a really good Joe Burrow card before the Super Bowl. And I knew that the card wasn't like one of his best cards, but his market was so hot. And Haley and I were going to England. And, I love Joe. I know I'm going to get that card back or some variation of the card back at some point. You know, do you sell it and you move on, right? So yeah, you wish you could still hold on to them because they are such golden tickets. But yeah, that's so interesting. Slade Roy, deep snapper uniforms. It's amazing how that works. So Chris, like, you know, if I were a media advisor to these athletes, you never know who could be watching. Like, I'm not Chris Mad Dog Russo. I'm not Stephen A. Smith. I don't have an audience of 1 million people. But if you just do an interview and you crush it and you have fun with it, you can always make one diehard fan. And if you buy, like, obviously his official jersey through the LSU website, he's going to get a cut. He's going to get a cut of that. And I don't know many deep snappers that are having their jerseys fly off the racks. So yeah. Priest Holmes was a beast. Honestly, though, the Chiefs had this strange run of 3 really good running backs that just never lasted long. Priest Holmes, who remembers Larry Johnson? Priest Holmes, Larry Johnson, and the best of the 3 was Jamal Charles. Jamal Charles was so freaking good. There you go. Great minds think alike. Oh yeah, Chris, you're a Chiefs fan, so you know better than me. Michael, I'm going to be honest with you. It's a cool card. It's not worth a lot. So don't cringe thinking about it, right? Now, I will say it was worth a lot to me because my dad gave me that card. But he also knows that I like to share this collection. My dad also liked to share his collection. That's the point of collecting, is to share. Okay. So did I like the Jefferson Burrow card? I did. You, Michael, deserved it. You personally, you support me. When I send you a card, just enjoy it. It's your card. You can do what you want. You can give it to your kids. You can give it to your grandkids. And who cares if it's not worth a lot or if it's worth $1 million? What does that card mean to you? Okay. That's all that matters. Like, for instance, I keep these 2 cards. I don't care. I don't care what happens to these cards, but these two guys were the 2 best players growing up, right? Let me take Joe off here really quickly. Dexco, I agree. I would like to see the purple helmets at least a few times. So these are just very cheap variations of 2 players I really admired. So Barry Sanders and Jerry Rice. I love Barry Sanders and Jerry Rice. Who didn't? They're great. They're great guys, great players. So I'm always just going to have these cards here. These aren't worth a lot. Might be 50 cents. I think I got these cards for 50 cents. But I love them. It's from one of my favorite sets, playoff Contenders season ticket. I love Contenders. Wish they were rookie ticket autos and they would really be something. But yeah. Well, all right. All you cool cats and kittens. This was a really fun live stream. Don't forget, Alexander the Great, next Tuesday night. You don't want to miss it. One of the greatest LSU football players of all time. Maybe he's got a Bengals game-worn jersey he can send me to put next to Jay Hills. That would be pretty cool, huh? Carl Pickens. I love it. So yeah, tomorrow we'll probably drop a video. Don't forget, Sunday night we will debut the Patreon. We will debut our first part of our running back deep study, and it should be a lot of fun. Running back week starts on Sunday, a week-long drop of all running back content. Let's go. Let me share this with you. We did the rare 3 p.m. video today, and that is extremely rare. So let me get this right here. So I did this video earlier today. Jamal Lewis is here talking about Jay Chillin. Tennessee had some good backs. Alvin Kamara, Jamal Lewis, Arian Foster. My favorite Tennessee players, though, Peyton Manning, Peerless Price, T. Martin, and Al Wilson. Who remembers Al Wilson with the neck roll? That is my video from earlier today around Kyle Parker. If you want to check it out, check it out. Shout out to all our super chatters tonight. Aaron was a big super chatter tonight. Shane was a big super chatter tonight. Michael B was an absolutely huge super chatter tonight. If I didn't mention your name, understand it really does mean a lot. Britt, everybody, I really do appreciate you, okay? Checking on the poll question really quickly. How many one-score games will LSU play next year? 4 or less. Hopefully that means LSU will be blowing out a lot of teams. It's obviously a really good thing. As power hour LSU bomb. And tonight, shrimp scale.